so heavy it feels negative.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
just the thought of like the unknown, because I mean I've been at the hospital for a while now, and I mean I've like this is pretty much like what I transitioned to, and now I'm kind of transitioning back out of it, and then this is completely different. I mean, it's a warehouse role. I've done warehouse before, and it deals with medical supplies. It deals with medical instrumentation. So it kind of combines like you know the first half of my career with the latter half of my career. But it's not something that I'm completely familiar with because it's a completely different atmosphere. I do know one person, so it's a little bit different. And just the fear of the unknown because it's like, oh, you just want to be good at what you do. I mean, I'm so used to being good at what I do now.
Now you gotta relearn shit.
I got to relearn stuff, and I'm in a leadership role. So, I mean, not that this is any different than what I already do now. I'm in a leadership role now, but it's a different thing. It's, now I'm the person that doesn't know anything, but I'm in charge. So now I have to learn things quickly and still be able to give direction and, be able to lead a team of people and be able to gain their trust. And for them to be like, you know what? All right, we'll follow you. And that's a tough thing to do, especially when you come in and everyone's just like, who the hell are you? You
Yeah,
know?
well, you're eager to learn. You want to learn. You're open to constructive criticism.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think you're gonna do awesome, man. I'm super happy for you, bro.
Yeah, it's exciting, and obviously, I think once I get myself into a regular like flow of things, it'll become natural again.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I like I said, we all have something going on, and I think we could feel it within the community. And speaking of things in the community, we have TikTok messing with the weight loss community. They're changing the algorithms up on us, and I mean, I think that a lot of us are starting to see content that we put up here not make it through. I know I've looked at a ton of our stuff and my stuff where it just says it's not eligible for the FYP page, and I'm like, really? And I've challenged a bunch of them, and that they've all been denied. And I know that Kara posted about this stuff. She's posted a few times. I know Janae has. I know numerous people in the community have posted about this. So the challenge I have for everyone in here, all 14 of you, including Rab and you and myself, is engage. Engage with everyone in this community, whether you whether you follow their content or not. Engage with it, because when it gets caught up in the algorithm, there's nothing TikTok can do. So just keep interacting, engaging with content creators in the weight loss community. The more you interact with them, the more you'll start to see their stuff. And then the more stuff that you interact with them, it's going to start feeding more of that weight loss stuff back into your algorithm. So you're going to start seeing it. So, I mean, the best thing for us to do as a community is to support each other and to make sure that our community doesn't get lost. So if we want to see more stuff about weight loss and bariatrics and tips and all of our favorite content creators, because I have so many people that I follow on here that I use for inspiration. Um, I don't want that to get lost in the mix. And I think it's important for all of us to be supportive of each other and to make sure that, this community stays strong. And regardless of like what happens with TikTok, um, further down the line, while we're still up here on TikTok, let's make sure that we have the community to fall back on.
That's right. Hey, when you all get a chance, if you could continue to tap Tony's red cap, like the live, and if we all can join together and share this live so we can get some people on here. This is gonna be a great live, I think, in my opinion. We
Yeah, this
get to
would be a
talk
good
to
one.
Rob D from Busy Bariatrics. So he's
Don't
full
forget to
of,
take your vitamin, guys.
yeah. Don't forget your vitamins. Bring your water. Get your water in your lap. Pull it up in your cup. Have it ready.
You know what this is?
What is that? Number what?
Creatine.
Oh, you're on your creatine kick. Thanks for that.
I had stopped probably a few months ago, and I definitely noticed the difference when I stopped taking it.
Creatine?
Oh yeah, like just the pictures I was taking, I could notice the difference in just how the formation of like just like the definition in my shoulders and my arm and my chest and everything.
Yeah,
And
you
I know I
getting all
started noticing
cock
the difference when I started working this back in.
you getting all cock diesel on me and stuff,
It's gonna
man.
take about a month before this like really absorbs into your muscles.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you should start taking it. It's not just have a scoop a day.
I
Throw it
just
into
don't know what it's gonna do
a bottle
for
of
me.
water.
Yeah, gotta get them beach muscles. You're right, Jay. Welcome, bro. And thanks for that content. I love the duet, man. It came out great. You make me look so good, man. Thanks.
Jay makes everybody look good.
What you
But you
going
you could
like?
just seriously, I could sit there and just smile, and just because it's Jay's content, I would look good.
Mm. Yeah, that's my goal, man. To look like The Rock after he retires. Absolutely. Either him or Vin Diesel, you know? Oh man. You did sell me, you started creatine too, huh?
I'm
I
telling you,
just
man.
don't know
Like,
what it does for you. You know what I'm saying? I
you
don't
know what?
understand.
Give it a try. So what it does is it absorbs into your muscles, and it adds a little bit of like like water to it. So you can bulk up a little bit because I can definitely tell in your push-up videos the definition that's coming in on your arms, your shoulders, and then your you want a little bit more. You want your shoulders to kind of bulge out and stuff.
You
You
saying
want to
my
get a little
shoulders
more
ain't
definition.
bulging out?
I'm telling you, it would be more evident, my friend.
Oh,
You
you're
would add
trying
a
to
little
tell
bit
me
more
that I'm
mass.
too. Hold on, man. Hold on a second. I'm sitting on here trying to find Rob, to invite him to the live, and you telling me, what are you saying, man? I look bony or something?
I'm saying that you and I are gonna have. Well, I think we should have a competition. I think we
Oh,
should have a healthy, friendly male competition.
this man just
Because
told me I was.
honestly, you all those push-ups you do, dude, your arms should be jacked. Your shoulders should be jacked.
Man, I'm fighting words, man. You done started some shit. Hey Jay, you
That's the
heard him.
whole point.
You heard you're going down, Tony. You should.
That's what I want to hear from you.
Nah, man, I can't have that shit. I can't have that. How you go from the biggest dude in the room to the smallest guy in the gym, man? It
Well,
happens, right?
let's do it, bro.
Mind your business, Midwest Berry girl. Yes, competition. He said start working out. Oh, you do already? I know, right? That's all I do is like push-ups every other day or something like that. I really
Dude,
need
I
to
can
get to a
definitely see
pro.
the definition coming in because you can see it. Like you can see, right? You can see the lines and everything. I'm just like, dude, if he had a little bit of creatine, dude, you're gonna get swole, bro.
If he had a little bit of creatine, he said you got a string hanging off your shoulder. Hey, thanks y'all
There's
for
gonna be a
joining us.
Bari Male Experience war going on here for
Thanks
the
for
next
joining the
6
Bari
months.
Male Experience, Tony and I appreciate all your consistent uh uh eh, uh what is it? What word I'm looking for? You got me all messed up.
I
Thanks
do.
for supporting us always. Every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Tony and I, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central. And you know the rest. We're going to have Rob D from Busy Bariatrics. I haven't seen him on yet. Rob, holla at me if you're on. I can't find him, Tony. Maybe you can find him. I'm not sure.
I hope he's not sitting on with your Instagram.
Oh no, I mean I hope not either. But yeah, we're live on YouTube as well. Tell a friend, tell a friend. That's right. BSG Bestie, thank you so much. Talk Barry to me every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget to check out our sister chat, Talk Barry to Me. We're on replays right now for the month of May, and VSG Bestie will be starting her new season in June. So make sure you tune into that. Also on Mondays, as you all know, Barry Unfiltered with Kate and Anna. Let me straighten that up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, Taco Tuesdays with us at 7 o'clock. You also have Eastern Standard Time. You have the Struggle Bus with Barry Nation. Wednesday, we have at 5:30 p.m., and that would be Pacific Time with our Barry sisters. What's up, Bariatric Bro? Thanks for showing up and hanging out with us, man. We really appreciate it. Let me
I don't
see.
see my weight as history in here right now.
I see him right here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Welcome. Also, November 7th through the 10th, Bariatric Society will be having the Bariatric Retreat, San Diego, California, at Paradise Point. We're on the road for 100 men. We'd love to have 100 men join us there. Information is a bio. Check us out. We'd love to have you all join us. I don't know. Tony won't be there, but I'll be there. And I think Rob will be there, won't he?
I will be there. Yeah. Thanks,
Yes.
guys. This is like my first TikTok live, so I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm really excited to do it with you two. So,
hey, you're doing it, and you came in at a perfect time. Thanks for joining us, Rob.
appreciate being here. I just love what you guys are doing, and I felt like we were really getting the ball rolling on our conversation, and then technical difficulties and whatnot, and the rest of the scheduling happened. So I'm happy to continue the conversation with you.
Rob, I cried. I was so upset.
We
that
were so
lost you, man.
confused.
I was like,
I'm always
no.
confused. I'm always confused.
Rob, how do you pronounce your last name?
Demedio.
Demedio. Rob Demedio with Busy Bariatrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So, I did some homework on you today, Rob.
Oh my goodness.
Did you get the surgery in 2019?
2020. So 2019, I would say I started the process where I was burning out a medical grade CPAP. And then my pulmonologist was like, look, you can't even be sustained. I was having 75 interruptions per hour with the CPAP on. So they're like, look, it's past your point. You need to lose weight. I rushed to get surgery. The pandemic happened. And then the first date they had available was the Monday after Father's Day. And the rest is history. So here we are now.
Which surgery did you have, Rob?
I had VSG, so vertical sleeve gastrectomy, I think. Right. I can never figure out how to say that properly.
And
that was perfect.
And you haven't had any complications or anything like that? No need for any? Yeah.
No, I've been really lucky. You know, I know complications come from a lot of things, so it's not like you can necessarily prevent complications from surgery. I've just been really blessed. And I've really taken this whole approach as it's been a second gift on life. So for me, it's really just been about making sure that I'm living a bariatric lifestyle. I'm doing healthy habits. I'm prioritizing myself in a way to show up for others. And I've just been really blessed. I'm coming up on my 4-year mark this June. And, you know, it's good. And Jay is already, the people want to know it's the salt and pepper all natural.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone dyes their hair to look like this or to get it this fading. I will say Jay is like the kindest soul ever, because he told me how nice he liked the salt and pepper hair when we all met in medicine. And I was like, I actually am thinking about shaving my head bald because it's starting to hold on for dear life up here.
Yeah.
Although maybe
sometimes you just need to embrace it.
I don't know. Maybe I get a J cap like you two. I gotta tell you, this what are they called originally? A scally cap? Is that?
Yep.
I always try to rock a scally, and I feel like I never could rock it properly. But I love the look. You guys look awesome.
Thanks,
there's all different types of flat caps, and you'll find one that suits you best.
That suits you, yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm here literally in pajamas and a hoodie, and you two are both in shirts and ties and flat caps, and I'm like, I'm so underdressed for this thing.
Oh man, it's okay. It's just, you know, it's our thing. You know, we don't require anything, but hey, I got shorts on, man.
Good
I'm
for
a
you.
realist. I'm gonna be a realist, man. I got this.
Newscaster.
I got the shirt and tie on, but you can best believe I got some shorts on. So hey, we're all good. How is it? I got a big question. How is it that you transitioned from the lifestyle that you were living, overweight, eating unhealthy, bad eating habits, not going to the gym, allowing yourself to get overweight? How did you nip it in the bud and stop?
Like, what were your biggest challenges?
All of them. Yes, all of the above. You know, I guess the more I reflect about it, it really was a blessing to be told that I'm going to asphyxiate in my sleep and not see 40. Because I had been told before, I need to diet harder. I need to exercise more. I need to move my body. I need to stop drinking. And it was always like, yeah, I'll get to it. Like, let me get my master's. Let me get my second master's. Let me get married. Let me have kids. When my kids are older, I'll take care of it. The fact that it was like a no, you need to start now was a real wake up call for me. So I didn't really get everything together right away. What happened is after I went to the pulmonologist, I like rushed over to my PCP for an appointment and was like, I think I want to have bariatric surgery. And he's like, I actually recommended this 2 years ago and you left the slip in the office and I kept it in your chart. So here, I'll just change the 2017 to 2019 and you can go do your thing. Jersey doctors are a special kind. But it was one for me. Like, I was really lucky. Penn Medicine was a phenomenal program in Philly. When they start with you, they make you attend 6 support groups prior to surgery so that you have an idea of what you're going into. You actually go to like almost like a puppy mill to choose your surgeon. They have like one night a month where all 6 bariatric surgeons for Penn come to one location. Each one kind of gives you this speech of like, here's my vision, here's what I do. Take it, leave it, don't like it. And I just vibed with Dr. Shurik. He was the best advice he gave me was, if you're one of these people who are getting this surgery so that you throw up when you stop eating, you do not need a sleeve. You need a psychologist. Yeah. And he was 100% right on that. He made me realize there's a mental aspect of this, that you need to really work on the mindset. And Penn Medicine's program really did start with the bariatric behavior goals that I've developed and even helped my clients develop and establish from day one of their journey. So it wasn't easy. I started small and started with basic stuff of like getting a step goal and tracking my food. And I think it was something as simple as like, I saw how many calories were in a chicken wing and I was like, well, that's bullshit. And that was enough for me to be like, okay, I have to find an alternative for chicken wing. So it was like, all right, let me make a buffalo chicken thigh. And slowly I started to tweak my nutrition. And it was one of those weird things that I lost 50 pounds prior to surgery just by tracking my food, getting my macros together. And when people were like, how'd you lose that weight? It's nothing profound. It was something of like, I went from having 3 slices of pizza in between lunch and dinner to 2 slices of pizza in between lunch and dinner. They're like, oh, you have 2 slices of pizza for lunch. I'm like, no. I eat lunch. Then I have 2 to 3 slices of pizza. And then there's dinner. I went from 3 to 2 in that mid-dinner meal. And it was small incremental changes like that that really helped me get the first 50 pounds off. So,
were you exercising at all during that time?
Just a step goal.
What was your step goal?
Oh, my goodness. So, yes and no. So, Penn really started me at, they won 18,000. And in true stubbornness, I'm like, I'm going to do double. And I couldn't do, they said 7,500. So I was like, I'm going to do 15,000 steps a day. And that started as my first challenge. Is I kept a 15,000 step day goal for almost every day prior to surgery. That meant during the pandemic, going out and getting a walk, walking on a treadmill down in my basement, slowly building up incremental things that could help. And then after bariatric surgery, when I was cleared, I started to go for 15,000 steps a day. And I started to make that a challenge. I made it 215 days in a row. On day 216, I hit 14,996.
Oh.
And if you've ever seen The Godfather, when the director sees the horse's head in his bed, when I woke up in the morning and saw like it didn't activate my shriek, I screamed. Had an incredibly bad day, hopped on Barry Nation's struggle bus, explained everything that happened, and Jason, the Smithsonian, was outright like, hey, you went 215 days. That's nothing to shake your nose, wipe your nose at or whatever.
Right.
I went back out that day, got my 15,000, and then I went 435 days in a row of hitting 15,000 steps a day.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
That's goal setting right there.
Hell yeah. On another level.
That's consistency.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that, like, I think a lot of the times we get tied up on majoring in the minors of things like, what supplement stack do we need? Do we need a proper, like, workout split? What's this next workout that's going to torch fat? And a lot of it's just consistently applying those same practices over and over and over again and having a ruthless consistency to it. The only reason I lost at 435 is I literally had a hernia and my insides were falling out of me and I'd have to pop them in when I was walking. So day 436 was my hernia surgery.
Oh.
And that was a fine time to stop. I was ready to stop and move on to other things.
Right.
Give yourself a little grace.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Just a little bit, right?
A little bit.
As Jason likes to say.
Hey, Rob, do you take supplements now?
Ooh, always the $1 million question. Yes and no. So technically, when we look at what a supplement is, it's something that is supplementing our nutrition and fitness that we might not be getting in our everyday life. So for an example, one of those supplements could be taking a protein powder or a protein shake. So I take protein as a supplement to help me hit my protein goal daily. I have 2 scoops of Legion, promo code BusyBee gets you 20% off first order. Shameless plug in my coffee every morning. Supplements are technically vitamins. So I still take a multivitamin, fish oil, and a vitamin D. Then when we really look at everything else, what else do I take? I also take a stim-free pre-workout, and that's more for the placebo effect. But most times you really don't need many supplements on your bariatric journey. And so many times people think like, oh, it's the supplements have to be the base of what gets you the results, when really it's the cherry on top of the pyramid. So it really comes down to your base being getting 7 hours of solid sleep, which is the most highly underrated part out of there. Next step would probably be you could flip-flop between dialing in your nutrition or consistently hitting like a step goal. And that could be like 2A, 2B. After that, you would put the other one. And then supplements is really to get you from 95% to maybe 97%. But if you don't have your nutrition, your sleep, your step goals, and your hydration in place, supplements are a complete waste of money.
What about if you were talking about like creatine?
So, I do take creatine. I will say that.
You do?
I do, yes.
Yeah, I just got in an argument with
that.
this guy over here, Tony D. I momentarily, every once in a while, every other day, I'm trying to make this every day because Bariatric Bro has his little 50 push-ups, 50 days push-up challenge that he's put out there. And Mr. Tony over here told me that I have the definition, but not the bulk, And I tell you what, we got a challenge going on because now I'm ready to take him out in the gym. But I'm scared of the bulk, man. I'm scared of it.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm scared of the bulk too. I've always been a big guy. I want lean muscle.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so again, you don't have to go crazy with the weights and build that bulk. You can still build lean muscle and have definition, but you don't have to get the ultra large bulk to it that goes along with that.
I think there's a lot in that question, so I'm gonna I'll go to the history teacher. I'm gonna break down every single part of it. Yeah. The creatine as a supplement is a great way to help with muscle recovery. It helps hydrate your muscles and for muscle recovery and repair. And creatine by itself will not make you bulky. Why most people will think creatine will make you bulky is when you are onboarding it and starting it, you will retain water in your first 2 weeks. If you are consistently taking the same amount of water every single day for at least 2 weeks to about a month, you will then notice that the number will decline as your body adapts to it and absorbs it as anything else. The second part of that, do you get bulky with lifting weights? It's really, really hard. In order to get like a full bulk or a lean muscle mass, you do have to have a slight caloric surplus. And you need to be prioritizing that around protein in order to build muscle. So that is the part of, you're both kind of, here's what I'll say in true Northeast fashion. You're both equally right and you're both equally wrong. So you guys can yell at each other when you're done with me. So for an example, if you're looking to build lean muscle, you can absolutely build it the same way that you build muscle. Muscle is muscle is muscle. It's a question of how much and how quick. When people get worried about that bulk, I think a lot of the times bulking with both the bariatric and the bodybuilding community means for a lot of people they're eating a caloric surplus with no real range of protein that's targeted within there. And that can cause excess body fat to go up. So when you were bulking, you should be looking at some key factors. I know you guys are like, we give him one question, he talks for 15 minutes. We're never going to get
do your thing, because
this is good
taking
stuff.
notes. I'm taking notes, man.
Yeah. So when you're looking for the bulk and continuing to do this work, you should really be targeting to up your protein and a little bit of your carb to allow you to fuel your workouts as well. As you do your numbers, you should be staying on track of both your weight, but also your body fat percentage. So when I was working with Kim, Active Bariatric, one of the things we did was I was about 210 when I started working with her, and I felt like I looked like a greyhound because I did not have muscle definition. I was eating at about 12 to 1,400 calories a day and was at about 19% body fat. From working with her, we got up to 250 pounds, so gaining about 40 pounds, while maintaining about a 19 to 20% body fat, which you are going to gain a little bit of body fat when you go through your process. But while we're going through the cut now, I'm sitting at a very fine 230 with about a 15% body fat. So if you do it correctly, you will build muscle, but you want to keep track of your body fat percentage to see, are you actually gaining muscle or are you actually gaining weight? The other caveat to that is everyone will say, hey, do you absolutely need a DEXA scan or can you do it on a body fat percentage scale? Rule of thumb, I'd say a DEXA scan is really good, but it is also very expensive. If you're tracking your numbers consistently and you're seeing what the body fat percentage on your scale is, it might not be 100% accurate, but it is 100% inaccurate at each stage, if that makes sense. Meaning that your 17% on the scale is the same ratio to the 19% as the 20 is the 1. So if that number is going up, your body fat is in fact going up. Whereas if it's staying the same and your weight is going up, you're building muscle. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would once I put it into play, you know?
Exactly. Everything in theory is beautiful. But if I were to look to build muscle and I wanted to develop some things, I would absolutely work with me as I help plenty of clients do that. But I would also really start to look at an honest track of my nutrition for 2 weeks and just see where is my protein, where is my carb, where is my fat landing, and where is my caloric range, and then really getting clear of what is your goal. So for me at this point in my stage, I'm really not trying to get, I'm not trying to run a marathon, nor am I trying to power lift. For me, I just want to look like I lift. So I train in programs that help me look like I lift, but I'm not necessarily lifting heavier weights or anything else. So that would go more to what Tony is kind of saying, where it's still a heavy weight, but I'm not powerlifting or doing anything competitive. But based on your goal, you should be building a program that helps reflect that, and your nutrition will fuel a lot of the results around that.
With that being, what'd you say, Tony? I'm sorry. Can't hear you.
Did he go mute or are we just trolling at this point? I never know.
Hey, look, with that being said, everyone in the comments, Rob is CEO of Busy Bariatrics. This is what he does. He is you're a personal trainer, right, Rob?
I am a certified personal trainer and nutrition coach. So I am certified from the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, and from Next Level Coaching Academy. So I am dual certified. So not only have I passed the science and theory that NASM requires, but I actually did a 6-month internship with Next Level Coaching Academy, working with master coaches of taking the theory that I'm talking about and finding a way to put it in practice and get results for clients.
That's awesome. Tony, what were you going to say?
He's still muted.
You still
This is
muted.
great, Rob. We can just do our thing.
Hey, so look, let's jump right into busy bariatrics. Helping
bariatric
patients find a balance between life, food, and fitness. That is awesome. It's amazing. I had really I kept hearing busy bariatrics, busy bariatrics. I see it on your Instagram, but I never took the time to check it out because I just, life be lifing. And then I was like, all right, we're having Rob on, so I need to really check into what Rob's got going on. And I don't know why the hell I waited for so long, but at what point and when did you say busy bariatrics is a part of my life? This is what I'm going to do. Did it help you help yourself become accountable, or what made you go in that direction? Where did busy bariatrics come from?
So that's a really great question. And it came from just seeing a lot of wrong in the bariatric community. A lot of the times I would help with support groups with Bari Nation, our Sleep Life podcast, Bariatric Society. Like when I go on and I help and support in all these men's support roles, I would hear stories of bariatric patients signing up with online fitness coaches, getting a standard cookie cutter meal and nutrition plan that does not work for a bariatric lifestyle, nor does it take into effect the idea that as former obese patients, we may not necessarily find doing burpees exciting. So it's how do we find movement that works, but also gets results without making us feel any level of shame or guilt around our movement. So after hearing enough horror stories, it was one of those that it was the same reason I started Men's Support Monday was if you don't see the beacon, you kind of need to be the beacon. So it was one of those things that I wanted to make sure that I was certified, that I built a business properly, that it is on a strong foundation. And it was one of those of if you build it, it will come. I opened up and got some initial clients right off the bats who are still with me today, not because they haven't gotten the results, but they've loved the lifestyle I've built for them and the level of accountability that this is their lifestyle and they're aging backwards.
Yep. And with that being said, this be a nice little plug I'll throw out there on my own. busybariatrics.com. You can find Rob on Instagram and every platform, correct?
Yes. Yeah. I usually hang out in Instagram, but I do come to TikTok for the Bari Male Experience.
Let's see if we could
thank you. We appreciate
yeah, I was going to say, let's see if Tony can join us in this conversation right now.
I don't know. I'm liking this, Rob. I like it. Nothing personal, Tone, but we could do this all day.
You guys probably could. I could sit here and listen to you guys talk the whole time.
What's
but
up,
it wouldn't be a BME Live. And it wouldn't be a BME Live if one of us didn't have some type of technical difficulties.
Right.
I'm just glad it doesn't just happen for me in Men's Support Monday and Instagram. It's universal. This is great.
If you watched our first couple lives, like when we first came onto TikTok, they were comical with how we started and the amount of technical difficulties, and it's funny to watch now, but it's like horrific in the moment. You're like, oh my God, we look like complete, we look ridiculous in the moment.
Yeah, but I think what's beautiful about that, and what I think a lot of people can learn from the bariatric journey, is you're not going to have it perfect from day one. Exactly. And a lot of the things I help my clients work with is it's not that you have to have a perfect workout routine day one in the gym. You need to get in and start building the habit of I go to the gym. And we build the lifestyle of I am a gym goer. And by building programs like my Breakdown Gym Intimidation program, I help you learn basic compound movements that will help get you results, but will also give you the confidence to know that you are a gym goer with a level of accountability that helps anything that you need.
I got a couple questions that were asked in the comments. Someone asked, when is a good time to start using creatine, implementing that into your routine?
So I would say the best time to start using creatine would be after you've almost consistently started working out and lifting. Something I guess I would say I would recommend to many clients is making sure that your water goal is consistently being hit, that you are consistently moving, because it's like anything else. If you were to take any supplement and you're not already being active, building the goals around your nutrition, fueling your fitness, it's just going to sit in your body and not really do anything. So it's almost that you want to start building the habits of working out. You want to consistently be hitting your water goal, and hitting your protein and nutrition goal would be a really good time to start. As always, I recommend to all my clients, you should be talking to your primary care physician as to whether or not creatine is right for you. And that is something that I absolutely recommend most do. If you look at research, though, they've seen incredible results in people even in their 60s and 70s. So it doesn't have to be a young person's game, as my salt and pepper gets grayer by the day. But it is something that I really think is a game changer for many, many bariatric patients.
Yeah, and like most things we do, like most things we want to check with our doctors, our nutritionists, our bariatric team. There's so many different things that like we see on TikTok or on some type of social media platform that we get caught up in, and we want to try it, and we don't refer to people that we should be referring to, and finding out, all right, is this the right thing for me to be doing? Because a lot of people can hurt themselves. A lot of people get sick. A lot of people, like, I know people who fasted, and I'm like, why would you fast? You're already malnutrition and you malabsorbent. I'm like, and you're not drinking, and so it's like people get caught up in fads and they think that it's the next big like quick fix because they want to continually lose that weight. So be careful.
So one thing I really teach my clients and how I build my programs out is we want almost everything that we start to incorporate to be both sustainable and attainable. So what that means is we want this to be something that can be done for a lifestyle if you want those results to last. A lot of times I'll have clients that come to me that will say they've been doing keto and they had some success with it, or they've been doing intermittent fasting and they've had some success for it. And I'm like, well, then what happened? And it's like, well, I couldn't keep doing it. It was just too much. And I'm like, well, then it's not really sustainable. What makes my program different than most other programs is because it's focused on habit building, understanding nutrition, staying active, and putting yourself first. The weight does take a little longer to come off, but clients over the next 6 months have more of a consistent loss of about 2.5 pounds per month, as opposed to these rapid swings of I lost 15 pounds in 30 days and then I gained 20 in the next 10.
Yeah, and that's important to remember is that people, and I know that a lot of us in this community, like they want to see that scale consistently move and they want to see the big drops because people are in a rush to like lose all that weight because they get excited about it, and then it becomes an obsession. That's where the scale becomes a problem. And like, and when they don't lose, 15 in a week and they only lose 2, they think they've done something wrong and they don't realize it. Your body has to adjust, and you're probably safer losing weight at probably a slower rate than a faster rate where your body can it'll change with the with the progression of the weight loss.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to remember that. For many of my clients, we have to really be clear about the honeymoon stage and how the first year really is a honeymoon. But then we have to really build our life in maintenance where it might be half a pound a week. It might not be any a week. It might be that you didn't gain through a serious or high stress level throughout your career. One of the things I think people need to understand with maintenance is the idea that you shouldn't be consistently in a fat loss mode through an entire year. If anything, as you get into maintenance, you should almost be having these highly targeted periods of cuts and then coming back up to maintenance so that your body can kind of regulate its metabolism.
Yeah.
So when I would go to the gym, I found myself, I want to run a 5K.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like I got scared of, running or starting to run because I didn't want to lose any more weight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you think someone should worry about, or is that true where you could really lean on the fact that your body is going to find its baseline here regardless if your nutrition is right? Or am I wrong?
So there's a lot in play there. I think a lot of the times people are not necessarily sure what they want their body to look like or what they want their activity to look like with after bariatric surgery. For me, I know in my personal journey, I wanted to be super lean and I wanted to have that Superman cut and that build. But in order to get that, I had to build muscle. So working with Kim Terapelli, we really got clear of what is your actual goal. And it's like, well, if I want to build muscle, I need to eat a certain way and I need to lift a certain way. If the goal is to run 5Ks, but there's a concern about I'm going to lose too much weight, it really does come down to, well, how are you fueling your 5Ks? Are you incorporating strength building to put muscle on to get faster in your 5Ks? So I guess whenever I hear anyone says, I have a goal, I'd have to ask Rob, like, why do you want to run 5Ks?
Just because I want to say that but just because it's something that I've always wanted to do.
There's
it's
nothing
like
wrong with
run
that.
a straight up 5K and get it done while I have movement, and take advantage of that. That's why.
So goal attainment is a perfect reason. So if you're really looking for, I want to run 5Ks. I don't want to lose any more weight, but I want to run faster and maybe start PRing on this. My recommendation would be then we need to fuel you properly with your nutrition, but we should also be incorporating some strength training into your workout as well to help build muscle around your legs and develop your body properly. I can think of one of my clients that I did a really good job of. She wanted to start running half marathons because she had ran one prior to bariatric surgery. And through fueling, nutrition, and adding a strength training program, not only did she not get bulky, but she maintained the same weight at the same time. But her physique looked absolutely different, and she lost a half an hour off of her PR for her 10K. So if you know what you're doing and you know how to train and program things, you can get some really awesome results.
So I was going.
Do you guys mind if I eat my ice cream while we do this?
Go
for it.
Do your thing. There was a question on there about how much protein should you take, and I would say that would probably be different for everyone, right?
Every single person, yeah.
And then
100%.
And then it would have everything to do with like how much actually can you get in, regarding where you are with your restriction and how far along you are post-op. I believe that would come into play as well. Would you agree?
So absolutely, there are so many factors that come in for your protein goal and how to build it. I'm trying to think how best to go. I think the best way that I would start to see what I need for my protein is I would track openly and honestly for 2 weeks and see where we're at there, and then start to build up. Some quick rules of thumb, and don't quote me on this. You could probably do a gram of protein per pound of what you want your ideal body weight to be. So as a 5'11", 40-year-old man, if I wanted to weigh 185 pounds, hitting 185 grams of protein consistently would be a really good starting point. Obviously, to calculate macros, you could use a macro calculator that is found on any website as a starting base. And then really there comes an art and a science to it that working with a registered dietitian or a nutrition coach can really get you that extra level. But for most people starting out, I think it's really good to just work with a macro calculator and just get a base of, does this feel sustainable and attainable?
Right. Now, I want to bring to life a little bit about the services that you provide with Busy Bariatrics. I read a little bit on your website, and I kind of want to go over these steps or these goals that you have put in place on your site, and so that you can kind of touch on what those objectives are. And the first one was finding a fresh starting point. What does that mean to you? What do you mean by that?
So I think a lot of the times in our bariatric journey, we almost try to do a little bit of everything and we don't necessarily get anywhere. I know from my own personal experience, it was one of those things of, I want to start doing Peloton workouts. And then it's like, I kind of want to do bicycle rides. And then I want to build muscle. And then I want to lose fat. And then because my goal kept shifting from day to day, I wasn't really getting anywhere because I was just moving within the box Whereas if we really start and establish what is the goal that we want to achieve and getting very clear on that, and then building a plan that really develops and works with that. So a lot of the times when I work with clients, we spend our first 2 weeks just tracking our nutrition so we get an understanding of it. We start to journal our habits, which is the being busy, building habits. We understand our nutrition, and then we start to develop our goals of what do we want our life to look like for the remainder of our lives, and how do we build a plan that really helps you burn fat, build muscle, and optimize your lifestyle.
What are the challenges you have with people that like don't like they struggle with the program? Like what are the things that you do to help like get people on track and to like give them obtainable goals? Like, because I know that not everyone is going to go into a program and like they don't know what to expect. They struggle with the lifestyle change. Um, I think it's like a lot of things that we struggle with in this community, and I feel like getting into a program is a great thing to do. But I know that how many of us stick to a gym routine? It's like a New Year's resolution. So like, what difficulties do you see like clients go through when they first initially like get into a program?
So I think one of the things I heard from so many people signing up with other coaches is they're just kind of thrown, here's your macros, here's your workout plan, go do your work. One of the things that I really do is during my intake and when I meet with potential clients is we go over what are your goals and what are your expectations, and then we build it throughout our program. Because I do so much habit-based coaching and the program that I use is habit-based, um, we really have everything programmed out as daily activities that you need to complete. And based on where you are, we either scale up or scale back based on where you start. So I've had clients that have really just worked on starting with hitting their water goal every day, and they've been able to lose 2 to 2.5 pounds just because they're hydrating properly. Then it becomes, hey, let's get another 2 weeks under our belt of, I want you to track your food consistently while you're getting your water. So it's meeting them where they're at and just building those habits so that they eventually work up, but they'll still lose weight if they're continuing to do those process, build those habits, and stack the consistency.
Learning a connection between food and fitness.
It's such a beautiful relationship. And I think for mine, especially early on in my life, it was such a disordered and fragmented relationship. I grew up in an age where the answer for everything was, well, just run it off or sweat off the calories. Every men's health, men's fitness, or anything you saw on a magazine essentially was, if you were to eat a brownie, you'd have to do 500 burpees. And I think that was, for a while, supposed to scare people away from the brownie. The obese person to me was like, cool, I'll eat the brownie now, and I just have to do 500 burpees between now and the next brownie I have. And at about like burpee number 3, I'd be like, well, maybe I could just have the second brownie and do like 1,000 burpees tomorrow and start to do that. So a lot of what I really teach and develop with my clients is to separate the relationship between fitness and nutrition and almost treat them as two separate things, but symbiotically. So the idea that we do not punish ourselves for foods that we eat is a major tenet of my program, but also we do not earn calories through our workout. So a lot of us, the relationship that I work on is building this healing level with everything.
All right.
That makes a lot of sense. When you break it down to something simple like that, and I mean, sometimes you need to hear it to kind of be like, oh my God, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And I think we overthink this. We overthink the journey, and we overthink the journey, and we overcompensate with things that we've already been taught, which don't really apply to us anymore. Now that we're missing 80% of our stomach, or we've had it rerouted, around our stomach into our intestines or something. So I think we lose sight of that, and we rely on old knowledge.
Yes,
and old bad habits.
And I think a lot of that is, I always look at myself as I was raised in diet culture. So I have a merit badge for Weight Watchers, keto, slim fast, lean cuisine. You name it, I've essentially tried it at some point. And the problem is because I might have had a quick dopamine hit of losing 5 pounds in a week, I will sometimes think that that's the answer that I need to go back to when I'm in a stall, when in fact it's really just applying the same consistent habits, patterns, and behaviors to make sure that it works properly.
Right. And you need to see consistency in that weight loss too. I mean, a lot of us, it's that quick, easy, like, oh my God, it's 5 pounds, and that's the instant answer. When you don't really have a track record of success to really go along with that.
Exactly. And I think that's one of those things that for a lot of people, they'll say, like, well, I had a lot of success with keto, or I had a lot of success. I don't mean to bash keto. There's people who have done it for years and do well, but insert any sort of diet. And I'll be like, well, if it was so successful, why are you working with me? And a lot of the times it's one of those of a lot of people will want to go back to what they know because that's what's comforting. And because of that, it can kind of sometimes buck the system. So it's one of those that you just have to really work and make sure that you're building programs and there's an understanding of nutrition and foundation of nutritional knowledge of you're probably hungry because you don't have enough protein in your system. You're probably not going to the bathroom enough properly because you're probably not getting the right amount of fiber to let everything work through its system. So it's a whole system and process as I'm eating protein ice cream. So you take it for what
ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah.
I went through that phase for a little while.
I need to get on that phase.
For me, I know, like, going back to my habit building, I like a late night food and I like a late night snack. So something I do for me is I really track in a pint of protein ice cream every night, and then I work my macros backwards from there. So whereas before I could have a pint of ice cream that could be 750 calories, really high in carbs and fat with a little bit of protein. This is 350 calories. There's about 50 grams of protein and a little bit of carbs and fat, but it's delicious. It tastes like Reese Cups, which makes my life so much happier. And it allows me to feel like I'm still having a dessert while staying on track and getting my weight in line.
So is that your go-to, or do you have like certain go-tos?
I think I have certain go-tos for certain things. Right now, as it gets warmer, I like going to the ice cream. It's also a lot cheaper to make in the long run. There's certain points in times where it's like I really like a protein bar, but at this point in my bariatric journey, I really use a protein bar more as a dessert than I do a meal replacement, if that makes sense. And the important thing is I don't necessarily have to have a pint of ice cream or a protein bar every day, but I track them into my trackers so that I know I can have it and I can enjoy it.
Now I want to bump this conversation up just a tad bit. I have a serious issue, and I know I'm not alone. I know exactly what I need to do in the gym. I know how to do the exercises. I don't get my ass up off the couch like I'm still 125 pounds heavier than I am today and get my ass in the gym. I got the membership, I don't go. I got the what is that? I got the
Bowflex or something.
the Bowflex in the basement, and I don't use it nearly enough. What do you do, or what can you recommend or advice to give someone who needs to break that damn trend, Rob? I can't, and it's always, oh, I'll go later on, or I'll get up really early, and then we're going to go right on back to your gym intimidation. How do we overcome these damn obstacles where it's just simply a mental thing? It's just, how do you step to somebody who is constantly and consistently having this issue?
With love.
I can't get over it. I'm sorry.
With love. Obviously there's a reason why you're not doing it. So can I coach kind of what I would do if you were
absolutely
right now to kind of get the feel?
Please, if you.
So Rob, why aren't you going to the gym?
Because of the time of the day that it is that I'll go. I don't like to work out with a bunch of people at the gym.
Okay. So what time at the gym?
Yeah.
What time is the gym empty?
The gym is probably empty really early in the morning or later at night.
Which one of those would work better for you?
I would probably say later at night.
Okay. How many days a week do you want to get into the gym?
5 or 6.
Okay. So why don't we start with finding a time that the gym is less crowded and just go and see for the next 5 or 6 days how crowded the gym is. Is that something you'd be willing to do?
Yeah, the gym is like 5 minutes away from my house, Rob.
Perfect. So you can just drive by it for a week?
Right.
You can drive by it for a week?
I definitely could.
Perfect. Could you keep a log of what times it's empty at night?
Absolutely.
And do you think between now and the next time I talk to you, you can bring that log to our conversation and we can see what works into your calendar?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Do you have a calendar?
Yes, I do.
Do you have time on the calendar to put the gym in?
Yeah.
Awesome. So for the next week, all I really want you to do is I want you to keep a log of when is the gym the most empty and where that could fit on your calendar. Is that something you think you can do for a week?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to program into our program that all I want you to do is take a picture of the parking lot so that I know you went.
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
So the beauty of most habits is you have to play the long game. And here's my thing. I don't care if you start today or in 2 weeks, as long as I get you to start. So if we have to take a month of you just driving to the gym and looking at it, so be it. Because in 4 years from now, you're not going to remember if it was May 13th or May 20th when you started consistently going to the gym. See what I mean?
Right.
So I have a question for you. And
it's my Jedi mind trick.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong, or like, and this kind of makes sense to me because is it true that people who document their journey through either pictures or through video are more successful than people who don't?
Let me tell you some things, some data points that can go. I have yet to see substantial evidence that has ever been done from a research standpoint, if that makes sense, the science behind it. So in my personal experience, I've seen it both ways because a lot of the times I think people are happy to celebrate and document when it's going well. But from being 5 years in the bariatric community, we can always tell when accounts go from posting every day to every couple days and then backdoor. Here's some stats and data that really make me unpopular in the bariatric community, but you can go on the Journal of Obesity Medicine and go look this up. Clients who track their food consistently 5 out of 7 days a week maintain their weight loss for longer. Bariatric patients who weigh themselves at least 5 days a week consistently maintain or lose weight longer over the period of time. That's been researched and found. Where I catch a lot of grief is when I tell people, yes, you should probably be weighing every day and reframing your relationship with the scale, and you should probably be tracking every day and reframing the relationship with the scale. I get murdered. A lot of the times I feel like people say, well, weighing and tracking is triggering. And it's not that the scale or the chronometer or whatever app you use is triggering. It's your actions, patterns, and behaviors that you now have to account for is triggering. So the actual triggering behavior is the behavior you're creating in your bariatric journey.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I will get murdered. I probably won't show up on TikTok for like the next 3 weeks. That will probably be remixed or whatever they do over here. And
this is content for tomorrow. No.
Great.
What is? Go ahead, Tony.
I'm going to say that the amount of like people's viewpoints and perspectives. Whether, you know, a lot of people, there's so much like perspective in this community, and I'm not going to say that anyone is either wrong or right about it, because if it
Agreed.
works for them, it works for them. And I think for the most part, what we need in this community is people to respect each other's like opinions, or what, like the things that they know and the things that they don't know, or the things that are successful for them. Because again, we can't judge how something works for somebody else. We can only judge what has worked for us. I mean, we're experts for ourselves,
Yeah.
and honestly, that's the only opinion that really matters to me, is like what has worked for me. Just like Reb's, I mean, I can bust his chops all I want and tell him that, you know, he's got scrawny arms and he has no mass to him, and you know, and we can laugh about it. But again, like he does what works for him, I do what works for me, and we can still have a good laugh and stuff and tease each other and stuff. But again, I respect his journey just like he respects mine. There are so many content creators on this platform that, you know, again, we all don't agree with each other. But you know what? I respect what they have to say, because again, who am I to say that they're not right about certain things? Because it could work for them and for others, while it may not work for me.
Yeah.
So let it get hammered. I'm perfectly fine. I'm not on here to get a million followers and to be the most popular like TikTok like influencer, and that's not what I'm really here for. I know you are, but I'm not. I've come to the realization that I'm cool with being just who I am and what I do. And Rab, I'll just ride your coattails, buddy.
Hey Rob, what do you think? Is it too late? When is too late to be going to the gym, in your opinion? If that's even a thing. I
I'm
mean,
thinking.
yeah,
So there's a lot of science, research, and data, and I always try to speak from like there is some scientific evidence of what I say and what I do. There's also exactly what Tony said, you know, like N equals one is a phrase. You're the best example of what works for you.
yeah,
So in an ideal world, you would not go to the gym, I believe, 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed, because your adrenaline is up. It causes a release of different dopamine and other hormones that go through your body. But if I'm talking to a busy bariatric who does shift work for 12 hours and this is
yeah.
the only time they could go to the gym, it's better they go to the gym than not go to the gym. Does that
Oh,
make
okay.
sense?
Yep.
Now, I
Yep.
would say if you're a shift worker, I would really try to encourage you to go to the gym on the days that you have off. So if you're a nurse that works 4 days a week, I would say to prioritize your sleep and really take those other 3 days to lift in the middle of the day when it might be less crowded at the gym, and take advantage of your schedule, but kind of work around that. But that's a lot of the things that I've really helped my clients find solutions for, is when does it work and what works best for you. So there really isn't a, you know, how late is there to go to the gym, but like ideally, in an ideal world, I would be waking up at 5 a.m. I would be letting natural daylight wake me up. I would be doing fasted cardio for an hour. Then I would decompress and have a post recovery meal. And then I would wait 7 hours before I lift weights while I'm ramping up my protein and carbs for a perfect workout. I got two jobs. I don't have time for all that. So yeah, I got to do it at 5 a.m. and I have to do it this way. So, you know, you have to remember, when a lot of the science and research comes out, it's built for like the most optimal athlete or bodybuilder. But a lot of the times, you know, like if it was between should you work out 3 days a week or no days a week, you should absolutely work 3 days a week.
Okay. We're
What is the
at
minimum amount someone should work out during the week? Like, how many times should they be consistently working out? Should
It
it be
depends.
5 days, 7 days, 3 days?
So what I like to do with my clients is I always say it's almost like you want a diversified portfolio for your retirement. I'll go to the money aspect of it. If you put everything in stocks, that can be a little risky because you don't have anything safe with bonds. When you're looking at your whole fitness experience, my best recommendation is you should get some form of movement every day, but that you can really get really good results in the gym if you are lifting 3 to 4 days a week. And then maybe the other 3 to 4 days, you're incorporating cardio, you're keeping a consistent step goal. Maybe you're taking one full day a week for active rest and recovery, where you're doing yoga or foam rolling or stretching to work on your mobility. But you should probably have somewhere around a blend of 3 to 4 resistance training workouts, 3 to 4 cardio workouts, and maybe 1 to 2 mobility workouts.
Oh man,
See?
I got work to
Food for
do,
thought,
man.
Rob.
I got work to do.
You know what though? It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It just has to start, and you do not have to have it perfect tomorrow. Yeah. Guys, this has been really great. I apologize, but I have my busy bariatric community call at 9. I really love talking and chopping it up with you two. If you know, I'll shamelessly invite myself back if you ever want to have a discussion on fitness, nutrition, the science around it, bariatric habits, patterns, and behaviors. Please know I want to support you two because I think it's so awesome what you're doing over here, and I'm so proud of you.
Hey, we're back at you, Rob. Anything
right
that we can do
you.
to help support you as well, we're here. Again, everyone, hey, if you got to run, Rob, do your business. If everyone needs to catch up with Rob, if you want to catch up to him, busybariatrics.com. He's on all platforms, IG. Also, check him out on May 16th with Bari Connect. He'll have a live Zoom at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 Central, 4 Mountain, and 3 Pacific. We can get the link in our bio, or you can find the link in his bio, or check with Bari Connect, and you can get the information there as well.
Ooh, Rob, can I throw you one more link?
Please do.
Go for it.
I still have my summer camp sale going from now till May 31st. I am all sold out of 1-to-1 spots because this thing went like crazy. We have 12 amazing speakers in the bariatric community. You're getting group coaching calls from me. You're getting one-on-one. Well, the one-on-one package is gone. Those all sold out, but there are still some really awesome remote options available. We're down to our last 9 spots. So I will send a link. And if anyone mentions Bari Male Experience, I will send them a free thing of Legion protein if they sign up.
Bam. Y'all heard it straight from the mouth.
Yep.
Thanks, Rob, for joining us.
Rob, thank you. We appreciate you coming up and taking time.
Seriously, anything for you two, and keep being such a positive beacon for the bariatric men in this community. And I'm so proud to see what you're doing. So keep it up, guys.
Thank you.
All right,
bro.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everyone.
You too.
Have a good night, Rob.
Bye.
All right, man. Yeah, so Tony, we got a wealth of information today.
That was awesome.
You're going down in the gym. I'm taking you out. All I got to do is start driving past the gym and taking pictures.
But that's what I want to see.
Yeah, no, I need to get going. I need to get going. And if any of you in the comments need to get going too, I hope this was enough, to get you motivated, because, I really, speaking for myself, I really need to get going and get this journey started. I didn't even start yet. I lost some weight. I'm still stuck in that fat boy mentality. I need to break that trend. I need to make this a lifetime goal. And I really appreciate Rob coming to join us. Tony and I also appreciate each and every one of you. 17,000.5 likes. We really appreciate the consistent support that we receive from you all. What were you saying, Tony?
I was going to point something out. You notice that last week was all the gym bros.
Yeah.
This week we got a wealth of information about just nutrition and working out and planning things out and how to go about that process.
Yeah, it feels good. So, and to know that someone in our community is actually like a personal trainer and went through the whole, is going through the journey himself. So
I think we have a few out there, and I mean, there's a lot of people that we follow, and there's a lot of good advice that we get from a lot of people. But when you can get when you have someone that's certified and everything, and they can give you a solid plan, and they can work with you on it, and they give you some grace and stuff, and they want you to be successful. That's what really matters. And I know that both of us have talked about this consistently, about us being more consistent with our workouts, and I mean, we could talk up here all we want about being consistent and doing the right thing, but if we're not setting the example ourselves, I mean, we're not any better. And I think that we want to take care of ourselves too. So I think that's part of like my whole thing about me just starting to post back to basics and doing my home workout, because I'm not going back to I stopped going to the gym again, and I've been a little bit inconsistent with that. So if it means starting with my home workouts again, and I mean, again, it feels good to work out again. And I forget, and sometimes you forget that. You forget like how good you feel after you work out.
Yeah, it does feel really good, man. On the mind, the mental, everything.
Yeah. And I mean,
like
talking with everyone last week was great. And it was just like, oh, this is motivating. And that was the whole thing behind the thing of like, you know what? Maybe I will go back to my creatine routine and like start my lifting to go along with that. Because I felt good and I started to look good. And I'm like, I mean, that's all we really want is like we want to be the best. You want to be the best version of yourself. And if this is, I'm gonna try this out. If this is what can give me the best version of myself that I'm looking for, all right, then I'll keep it up. If it's not, then all right, I'll drop the creatine and I'll stick to my normal routine as long as I'm consistent with what I'm doing, and that's what really counts.
Yeah. And VSG Bestie talk Barry to me. Thanks a lot. Yeah, if you all aren't subscribing to the YouTube channel and you missed these lives, they're all uploaded to YouTube. Don't hesitate to jump on over. It's the tap of your finger. Go on over to YouTube, hit subscribe, follow us over there. We're doing a lot of things over there, kind of trying to, transition a little bit because, TT has been, being funny. So just in case. Also, every Sunday, again, our sister chat Talk Barry to me with VSG Bestie. She's doing the replays right now for the month of May, and we'll start her season back in June. Next week we'll have Justice Mustafa. Next week, Mufasa. Justice Mufasa. He'll be on with us next week. And the month of June, Pride Month.
Yes.
All month. That's what Bari Male Experience is all about for the month of June. That's what we're doing.
Do you want to let people know yet, Rab?
Yeah, let them know, Tony.
All right. So if you don't know, take a look into our bio. There's a link, and you could check out. We have merch, and you could check it out. Check out our store. We're starting to release some BME gear, and we actually do have Pride Month stuff for all of our bariatric brothers and sisters who are part of the LGBTQ community. So check that stuff out. It's I'm gonna give Rab a lot of credit. Rab really he let the creative juices flow, man.
I'm trying. Dude,
those are you got some pretty good stuff up there.
We learning. And also, again, mark it on your calendar. November 7th through the 10th, bariatric retreat being presented by Bariatric Society. We're on a road to 100 men. We'd like to see as many men as we can get to show up there. Of course, the women, we know they're going to show up, but we got to get the men to show up as well.
Definitely get the men to show up. And don't forget that we have a code BME for $25 off on that ticket. So check that out. That is a link in our bio as well.
You all have an awesome night. As usual, we'll see you next Taco Tuesday. What's up, Chef Russ? We're out of here, bro.
What's up, Chef Russ?
Peace.
Love.